Hey fellers, does the carburetor on your car have all the charm of a pungent hunk of dung? You want to turn her into something that looks, I don't know, something more like this? Well, stick around and I'll show you how I do it. But here's a word of warning, guys. When you go and show the little lady inside, I mean, she's going to want to put that up on the mantelpiece and show it off to the friends and neighbors. But just be firm, be gentle, and say, honey, there's an old lady in the garage that needs her more.
And because the fuel comes directly into the head, that means greater economy. How about having an old miser imp in charge of doling out just the right amount?
A stingy-looking fellow with whiskers who just hates the idea of waste.
That's okay.
Behold, the heart of the beast, the Carter W-1. So this is the Carter W-1 out of our 48 Chevy, the 216. And we are going to rebuild this sucker. Lovely shiny 48 paint in there. Probably 47. Let's take this old fuel hose off. Excuse me, fuel line, fuel hose. Jeez. I want to get this accelerator pump rod off. It's the tiniest little pin down here. Use my pick. Don't want to lose her. Get that shaft out. And we'll take the top of the bowl off. Yeah, this has the top of this shaft has a little spring-loaded keeper that's a lot like what holds brake shoes on a drum brake system onto the backing plate. And you just need to turn it to the right spot. And you can pull it out. Turn it and it stays. Okay, so I want to remove the metering rod, and I need to remove, just go like that, pull it out, there's your rod. And if I could see what to do with that spring. I'll have to do that later. Now I'm going to remove this hairpin from the accelerator pump link and pull the link out. And I should be able to take the cover off. Let me go back down with it here. There we go. It's our float. It's the pin for the float. And then there is our needle and seat. More on that later. Now, if it lets me, I'm going to pull the accelerator pump out. There we go. Ooh, there's nothing left of that. Get the spring. And then you can see it on camera, the metering rod jet right down there. I'm going to take that out. There we go. Thought I was going to have to soak it. So our first minor problem, I got to get the air horn off, but I don't know if you can see the venturis down in there. They hang down below this brass plug. This is a passage plug, and that extends all the way into the air horn past the secondary venturi. So you can't pull this air horn off until you get that off. That plug out. And I really don't want to try to have to source a new plug for this carburetor. So it's blaster time. Get that one while we're at it. Get that. Get that, get that, get that, get that. Okay, she's been soaking in the peanut butter blaster for a day. Still pretty tight. Oh yeah. Woo! There's plug. Now let's see if we can make any headway on here. Yeah, there's your venturis. Bullseye. So I've developed a definite problem with this plug here. Even the biggest screwdriver that I can fit in the slot does not grab on. It's been so worn out in the past. I'm gonna have to get creative. Well, I didn't film it. I felt it was like an accident on the side of the road. You just tell you to look away. But I went ahead and broke down and used the impact driver, and I got it to bust loose. I was afraid I was going to break this whole cast carb body, but I got it to loosen with that, so very good. Got another plug up here. That was starting to strip out on me. See what a little confidence can do for you? Okay. That's got a jet in it. Looks like I need to get a smaller screwdriver. Yeah, I can get it. Just about got the body as far as I need to go. Yeah. Nothing says fall like caramel apples. If you can't make one of those, go on down to Walmart and get yourself one of them caramel apple suckers. Next best thing. Okay, I'm putting all the parts in a little solution of Grandpa's old cough medicine here. Yep, that's about $2 worth right there. Throw the lid on. I'll need to track down another lid. I don't need gas fumes. I mean, cough medicine fumes floating around the shed for however long I end up keeping that in there. Knowing me, it'll be a week, so we'll get back to you and we'll clean it up. So she's been cooking in the old ethanol for about, I don't know, 4 or 5 days. Just gotta give her a good swish like she's Listerine there. And we'll open her up. Gonna dump most of the gas in this other bucket. How do you like that, by the way? I found that completely full of grease from the 60s and been cleaning it out. I think this gas ought to finish getting that old grease out of there. And we'll put her on display. I think we got some junk off of them. Now I'm actually going to save this gas, because if you've been watching the 66 Chevy pickup videos, I've got to do another carburetor coming up. Yeah, that'll come off. That's all soaked in there good. Man, I can never keep up with cleaning around here. Anyway, went to the old Wally World and got some oven bags you would line your roaster with before you throw your old turkey in there or whatever. And since I want to keep this clean, because you never know when I need to throw my dentures or a pot roast in the old ultrasonic cleaner, cook it, I don't want to have to clean all that scum out of there. Oh man, I thought these would be big enough. Maybe it will. I bought this probably 15 years ago to wash my shop floors with. Like that ever happens. But this is just granulated laundry detergent. Oh, that's only half full. I've washed the floor too. I'm just going to throw that in there. That'll polish up the old brass. Then the old simple green. Hey, this looks like a fun day at kindergarten in here. Now we'll just top her off with the old water here. Oh, you turkey! Put that there. This stuff seems to be having an allergic reaction no matter whether the thing's running or not. But anyway, alright, I've had everything going through a couple cycles, and we're going to see just how good we did, or how bad. See whether or not we need to run it more. And this stuff is hot, so I don't want to reach in there anymore. Well, it might need a little more. I mean, it's nice and loose and you could easily clean it off by hand. Wow! Toasty. So I think I'll let this go another cycle, and well, let's see what else we got here. Maybe we don't have to run everything again. You know, everything is really loose on it. Could be easily cleaned off. I think I'm going to run it again. Everything in there. Mama, that's hot.
How's that for wind? It roars through the carburetor, sometimes at a speed as high as 800 miles an hour to vaporize the gasoline. That funnel above and the other one below are called venturi tubes. They control the speed and direction of this hurricane of air. 3 tubes in this carburetor keep raw gasoline from getting into the engine. An important reason why the 6 cylinders of this engine run on a very small amount of gasoline.
So when I'm restoring an item on an old vehicle, a lot of the hardware would have been just bare steel. You know, it would have been heat treated in some way more than likely, and maybe would have kept rust away, and it would have been oiled, would have been greasy in the bins that the workers were pulling parts out and installing them. But you know, they would have been bare steel. They wouldn't have been painted black. So I just like to touch them up with clear. That way you retain that original shiny steel part, and it looks like it should. Oops. Alright, the first thing I'm going to do is put the shaft for the throttle in. I'm just going to put some light 3-in-1 oil on here just because I don't want to put it in dry. Not much. That'll work. And I want the throttle valve in there, and when you're looking at it upside down, you should see the Carter C looking up at you. It also wouldn't be a bad idea to put some thread lock on there. Newer carburetors, I think they stake the screws, the threads, so they wouldn't back out. Now we're going to put the air horn back on. I did not remove the choke valve, so that's still in. If you do, there is a C on that also, and on this one from the top you want to see the C. So before I drop this on, we need to put a small tiny, that's good, a gasket right there. That meets up with this passage here. Drop that on. Now the next thing I want to show you guys is on this nozzle, it's got a flat spot. So it's D-shaped, And the hole in the venturi should be D-shaped as well. Now it doesn't turn in there, but there is no flat spot in there. So, you know, I could put it upside down if I need it, if I wasn't paying attention. So you want the small little pinhole on the bottom, flat spot goes up, just like that. I need the little plug that holds it in there. We'll double check if I went in right. Flat spot is, I don't know if you can see it in there or not, the flat spot is still at the top, so I'm going to finish tightening this down. You should be able to see that. And I need a different screwdriver, but that'll work for now. Now I've got the copper gasket on there, and I'm going to put the plug in. Where did all my screwdrivers go? Goodness. Okay, time to secure the air horn. So we'll put those 3 in. This is the low-speed jet and a new copper gasket on it, and it goes up in here in the bottom. Just like that. Now we have 2 brass check valves that actually come new in the kit. The smaller one is the outlet check valve, larger one is the inlet, and the larger one has a step on it that the screen actually goes around. So we drop the outlet one in first. It goes way down there. Now the inlet, and I'm just going to leave that screen on there. Keep from having to fight it, trying to get it to slip over there once it's installed. Kind of slipped off anyway. And it come all the way out. Okay. You just do that. Now you need your largest copper washer that comes in the kit, and the biggest brass plug. Make sure that screen is straight in there. Being a pain. Okay. It'll stick good in the plug too. As long as it starts over that valve and doesn't get crushed. Alright, I'm going to focus on these three things here. First of all, we can get our idle adjusting screw there. Bottomed out there, and let's just do 1.5 for now. And then we can put a plug. I believe a plug goes in there. Just like that. And then I believe that was a vacuum. I have made a mess of this thing. I don't even want to set it down here right now. Everything will be sticky if I do that. Just a little bit on the threads. You can use Teflon. You can use whatever you want. Now this passage here is for the accelerator pump jet. That's the jet. Spin that down there. The plug. And we need a new gasket for it. That one seems a little big. Let's try this. This is one of them I had to shake loose with the impact driver. Of course you knew that. You probably just saw it a minute ago. Why am I asking you? And now the metering rod jet. This one right here. Put a new gasket on it. Go. Okay, I'm going to put the new accelerator pump spring in there. And then it comes with this cardboard little handy loading device. So you just push that down in there. That way you avoid ruining the cup on there. Okay, I'm going to put the seat in. And this new Daytona kit comes with their own special style, I guess, of needle and the seat to go along with it. It's not a traditional pointed needle. It's actually perfectly flat on top, and the hole is actually pointed or conical, and then you've got a flat spot on the what you used to call the needle. I don't know if you can call it that anymore with that style, but gotta tighten this down a little bit more. Now drop the needle. Well, let me show you the comparison. The old one's your traditional needle, pointed, and the new one, perfectly flat. Take it as you will. Never installed one like it before, but we're going to do it now and see what happens. So, I'm going to hang my float on here. Boy, I'm all thumbs right now. Get the pin in. And now we need to measure from the gasket surface to the bottom of the float. So I'm supposed to have 1/2 inch in here, which is what this steel rule is. And I've got, boy, at least 3/16 more than that. So it wasn't getting near the fuel in the bowl it should have been. And that could have changed. I mean, I should say that also. That needle and seat could be quite a bit different. So, but that seems excessive to me. So I need to bend this tab up. In this orientation, it would be up. So that sits lower on this end. Just gonna take a needle nose and change that, you know, and it's not going to take much to change it at the other end. So you don't want to get carried away here, but it's easily reversible. So now let's see how we did. I could still go about another, you know, by the time we get back here, another 1/8 of an inch. Okay, and if you can see that, I mean, that's as close to perfect as I'm gonna get, I think. May just barely touch it right on the front corner there. Now when we let the float drop, it touches against these stops here. As you can see the needle in there going up and down. This should be 1 inch between the bottom, between the gasket surface and the float. And I've got a good 1.25 inches anyway. So I need to bend these tabs this way and see if we can keep that from going quite that far down. One thing I need to show, this is the accelerator pump arm, and you need to put a new wick in there. Comes in the kit. This is the old one. And when I get this put back on, we'll put some oil on this wick, and that keeps that lubricated. So that'll just go back on there. Felt kind of likes to get stuck in there. And then the kit comes with a new hairpin. So we'll slide that on. Just like that. Okay, now I'm going to place this right on here. And we'll put our screws in. Something else I should have mentioned earlier, you want to check the play of your throttle shaft here. If it's very worn out, you could very likely get vacuum leaks through the side, and it could also cause poor operating throttle linkage. You know, it could bind up on you and stuff. For now, I'm going to put this arm on the other end, and that operates the accelerator pump up on top. So the arm is going to go this way, or the rod, I should say. Snap in there. Just like that. This is what takes that little keeper, that little twist lock keeper, might be easier with a needle nose. I can see what I'm doing. You can see that. That's what that looks like. And we'll stick a new hairpin on the bottom end. Just like that. Make sure it still works. Oh yeah. Feels good. Well, I am missing special cover or gasket, they call it a disc, metering rod disc, right there. Just keeps junk from falling down inside the hole the metering rod goes through on this cover. I don't think one was on there when I took it apart, and my kit does not have one in it. So, I guess I will make one. we'll get back with you. Now I want you to be aware there is a special procedure for adjusting this metering rod. It takes a special tool, special gauge, which I do not have, and basically you gauge whether you need to bend this rod so that you're getting the right movement out of the metering rod. I'm going to assume that it's okay, you know, that it was adjusted correctly before. If we run into problems with it, then we'll deal with that when it comes. But I'm guessing not many of you who are watching this have that gauge either. So I just want you to be aware. I know that, yes, I know about it. I don't have the tool. We're going to get this installed on here. So there's a little, the tail end of this spring on this arm, it's sticking through this stud. So I've got to get this started on there. There we go. Put the disc all the way down there. And then I need to bend the spring, not bend it, but put it back around the metering rod. There's a little hook on there. It just goes just like that. That holds it up against the side of the arm. Okay, only a couple more pieces to go and then we can put it back on the intake manifold. This is getting exciting, huh? Take this one back out. First I gotta put the dust cover on. I've been waiting for that the whole time. There's that. And our hold down clamps for our linkages, cables. Go on the air horn here. Alright, what do you think? I think it's looking better, don't you? Let's hope it performs a whole lot better.
But look, there's our drop over there again. Say, he's getting bigger. He's being mixed with air. He'll grow up to be about 17 times his original size, so he can do his best when he gets into the cylinder.
And we got to finish up by putting her on the car, seeing how she looks. Put the spacer on, new gasket. Drop the carb on. And the nuts. Well, there you have it, fellers. The Carter W-1 reinstalled on the 48 Chevy. I'm getting anxious to fire this thing up for the first time. I want to go through the gas tank, make sure that's okay. I really need to get the generator and starter going. And then we'll distributor, fuel lines. I do need exhaust, but we'll deal with that. Cooling system. Slowly but surely we're checking them off the list. Thanks for watching.